And I remember I was standing in the kitchen or in the dining room. My husband walked by and I said, did you get travel insurance on that cruise? He said, yeah, why? I said, I have cancer. And he said, man, a few words, that sucks. Yep, sure does.
I don't know how else to I'd be like,
Exactly.
I
What do you say? What do you say? There's nothing to say.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 127 of the On the Runs podcast. Erica is back after a crazy weekend from Hurricane Helene down south. I am in Tucson where it's wicked hot, like beyond hot. I've never been in anything this hot. Erica's social media game has jumped up by 100 points. It's October. You all know what that means for the pod, is we're going to be talking to some amazing badass women. But first, let me say hello to my very tired, very worn out, she wants to do nothing but sleep, my amazing co-host, 6-star Erica. What's up?
How are you, man? I am functioning. That should say something, but
she woke up just for the pod, guys. She woke up just for the pod and a couple recordings. But I'm so happy because, Erica, you had an amazing weekend. You upped your social media game. I can give you shit for it when you don't.
Mhm.
I better give you major kudos when you do.
Let me just, I have this screenshot that I had to take so you couldn't take it back. You sent me a message the other day that actually said, hey, you did a good job. And I was like, I have to save this for
I was
posterity.
more excited than that. I was like, you did amazing. Like all the engagement and everything we got, all the people DMing. I literally just told you we're going to talk about this in the outro, but we're talking about it now. Dude,
we can wait if you want to.
No, let's get into it. I had so many. So you posted on your own story, right?
Yes.
Which was
and I
great.
just made sure to tag or mention you.
Right. You would always tag, I would reshare. I had so many DMs. People and I would talk back to them like I was you. I'd be like, oh, thank you. I had to act like I was you, which was super cool. I even told you, now you have your own color. So I've always done when I post things on the story, I've always used OTR blue as the font or the background. Now, if I'm ever doing it in your space, you're that purple that was almost our logo's color. Remember, we almost
actually, I've got one of those right here. That's purple.
So if you're watching the story and you see purple, it might be me, but it's really Erica telling you a story.
All you have to do is use 1,000 exclamation points, because that is my punctuation of choice.
That's you.
Yeah.
Dude, you freaking killed it. Everyone was asking, how you doing now? Or this is amazing. Brady McDonald was watching our story.
Yeah.
He's like, keep me updated. So many people were just like, you're amazing. You're a rock star.
I just had to, this whole weekend was pivoting, just trying to figure shit out. And I was just lucky that we ended up at a race that had service. And I had time on my hands. So
not only that, I got so many DMs of people asking, have you heard from Erica? Do you know how she's doing? They didn't know you were running in another race yet. We're going to get to that and those details soon on another, maybe a special.
I haven't even unpacked all of this weekend's event, so it's going to take a little time to figure that out. But I'm hoping to bring on some special guests to help me just break down the whole weekend.
Yeah.
But just being down there and the stuff we saw, and it was sketchy at times. So yeah.
But not only that, people were worried about you because you were in the thick of Hurricane Helene.
That means so much to me. It really does. And I appreciate everybody who reached out just to check on me. I was completely safe the whole time. I was staying down in Abingdon, and it was, I think, 16 miles away from Damascus, and Damascus got hit very hard. So, that was really heartbreaking to see, but I was physically safe. We were at higher ground, and none of the floodwaters or anything like that made it that far.
Let me run down this list. People who messaged, DM'd either about one, have you heard from Erica? Is she okay? Or 2, like, great job, girl, you're killing it, or this is
I
amazing.
appreciate all these messages.
Ryan Painter, Aaron from Will Run For. We have Jen Steele,
Oh.
Allie G, Alejandra, Amber, Sherry Todd, Brady McDonald,
Oh my
Kristen
God, you
Austin.
guys.
Another group called My Race Tats. I actually think that came from Ben. We got to talk about Ben too, actually. Ben's amazing. Larson Ojala, Patrick Lieber, Runner Die, Diana, Thomas Stover, Maurice, and then, of course, Lindsay. We got something here from Lena Hart, and then Dave French is the classic always. Good job. Golf clap. Good job.
I really appreciate everybody who reached out. It did mean a lot, and I'm just happy to say that I, like, my friends and I, who we stayed together in a house and we were fine. There were just down trees. That was the one big thing that we had to deal with. We kind of got trapped just in our little area because a bunch of trees came down and we couldn't use our cars. But that's the least of the worries of the whole weekend. So
yeah,
it's going to take a long time to kind of unpack that. So just give me a few days, guys. We'll figure it out. We'll release maybe a longer outro or a special little
I'm hoping for the special. You might do the special with them.
Yeah,
You'll moderate it. I won't even be there.
Yep.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll jump in. We'll jumped in, actually. I want to tell you guys this now. Monday Night Media has officially started recording episodes for the other podcasts. Nicole for Run Your Mind has officially started. I re-edited hers on my flight. I'm in Tucson. The other one, which is really cool, is Allie G started her podcast, and we set her up in Riverside. She has her own studio. And the cool thing is, as a producer, I jumped in for like the last 15 minutes, and I loved what I saw. I haven't edited it yet.
Okay.
But it was so much fun to watch her do her first ever podcast recording with her guest. I'm not even going to tell you who the guest is, but her guest was super awesome. And then after they hit stop and they were kind of chatting, I jumped in the room and I chatted with them. It was so much fun.
Surprise, I've been watching you.
Right. And it was just so cool. So I'm so excited. Monday Night Media is taking off. Like I've told everyone.
I'm going to Dave French it and give you a round of applause. That's amazing.
Yes, thank you very much. January 2025 is the goal. I have a feeling Allie G show will have an earlier drop. So maybe in about a month or so.
She's going to be rolling.
Well, she's already scheduled her next 2 or 3 guests on her own. I'm like, hey, don't forget to get the ones I got. Go. I'll drop it. We have Chad and Patrick. They're going to jump on. Patrick loves music. Remember his book? Every chapter is after a song. Like music is his passion. So it was so good. I was so proud of her, though. I really was so proud of both of them. But I was really proud because Allie took like the notes seriously. And I got to see it all. I first showed her examples of mine. And the way she structured the show, it's going to be a huge success.
Oh, I am so excited. I'm so proud of you ladies, both Nicole and Allie G. You guys are getting out there and doing your thing, and I can't wait to listen. Oh, I'm just so pumped for you.
But before you ever get to listen to those, you're going to get to listen to some amazing, badass women because, Erica, what month is it?
It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we have a lineup for you.
We do, because the last 2 years, we've had 3 amazing breast cancer warriors, thrivers, as we learned to call them too.
Thrivers, yes.
Right. This year, they're 5 Tuesdays in the month of October. And I was like, ooh, how do I fill this in? Do I get 5 amazing women? So we did. We got them from all different directions, okay? We have some who are currently battling breast cancer. Mm-hmm. We have some who have beaten breast cancer, and now they're amazing, doing great, and talk about that whole journey. And then we even have one, and I'm really excited for this. She's never had breast cancer, but she has like this gene that makes her an extremely high risk, and she's going to come on and talk about what she has done to help stay ahead of it and be proactive about it. And it's a great story, and they're all super amazing and involved in the community. We'll get to our amazing guests this time, but I think we need to recognize and acknowledge the ones who helped us start.
Are you going to remember them all this time, Newt?
I remember them. Yes, I will. So I need to, I'm going to go in order, or at least order of year. The first person who ever like sparked this for us was a lady I worked with, Barbara. And Babs, as I called her, says, you need to have on. It was like her daughter's best friend, but she treated her as her own daughter, Nikki Bacon. And when we had Nikki on, I think she like set the cadence for this month every year. She told us everything from like the beginning of the diagnosis to getting involved in the running community to getting involved with the foundation. Like I think it was Healthy Meals or Happy Meals, where they prepare meals for anyone going through cancer, breast cancer, any kind of cancer. And then we had Jackie Hellier and Angela Pohl that year. They were huge. Like they set the cadence for us. And then the next year we had Chris Lewis, who is the founder of Total Image, and she had breast cancer. We had Sherry Todd, who Angela Pohl gave to us, and she was amazing. Remember that episode? Your cat jumped in the feed. We actually just recorded, and guess who jumped in the video again and tried to show their cornhole?
I did.
You had the block. You blocked the cornhole.
I had to censor it. Oh my God.
And then I'm so sorry. Last year I stumbled on her name, and then she called me out for forgetting she's even done ultra marathons. But we had Jay Duncan, and maybe even Jay Duncan was the start because we had the 5K for Jay on year one.
That was the year before. So we got to know her, and then we got her back and just learned all about her journey.
And our goal with this month is like to talk a lot about not just their breast cancer journey, but how the running community played a role.
Yeah.
And how we're learning how supportive and optimistic the running community is. They'll be the first ones to tell you you can do it. You can do a 5K, you can do a marathon, you can do a 100-miler. They'll also be like the first ones to say you got this when you have breast cancer.
Absolutely.
Or any cancer. And they'll be like, you need to advocate for yourself. And they say all the right things. Like this thing was 1 month and we're like, we got to do it again. And I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled with our lineup. October is going to absolutely kick ass.
Absolutely. We just have so many amazing women who have had to deal with breast cancer. And it does break my heart that breast cancer is such a prevalent disease out there. But these women are thriving, like we learned. Thriving is the word for it. They are going through it, but they are getting through it. And they're just stronger than ever. And we're going to start with our guest this week. Her name is Stephanie Humprey, and she's just out there doing epic shit, not letting her diagnosis bring her down.
That's right. And she's Mickey's neighbor, which is so cool. So I'm wicked excited for this.
Right next door.
So I'm wicked excited. You guys are going to love Stephanie. We actually had last week Erin on the podcast for the intro, which was a lot of fun, but like we totally vibed. I thought like maybe we do more of that. Let's talk about that later. But Erin actually introduced us to Stephanie, and they're doing a little fun podcast coming up. You heard about it last week. You're going to hear more about it today.
Yeah, Stephanie's going to tell us you all about it too.
Yeah, it's called Pace Yourself. It's just cancer. And if you're listening now, it's October 1st. Their first episode drops today. So those will be in the show notes. Check it out. But first, enjoy our next amazing member of the PodFam, part of our breast cancer awareness series, Stephanie Humphreys on the On the Runs podcast. Our next guest on the pod is a run dizzy fanatic and a 3-time dopey challenge finisher. But when she's not running, she's the mom of boys, a nurse, and a breast cancer warrior. We're wicked excited to welcome Stephanie Humprey to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, Stephanie? Can I call you Steph?
Sure.
All right. Yes. I so badly wanted to call you Steph. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. How are you guys?
We're doing good. We're getting past the Monday scaries, I guess it is. This isn't really Sunday scaries, but it's Monday. But
yeah, it's been a Monday here too.
Oh, man, everybody's having a Monday. What the hell?
I don't know how that works.
Where is here, though?
So I am located in Orlando, Florida. I am really close to Magic Kingdom cast member parking, and I can watch Magic Kingdom fireworks from my backyard.
Not what? Yeah. I should have put this in my intro. I wrote down first, you are Mickey's neighbor. And then I was thinking, well, no, I'm going to change it up. You really are Mickey's neighbor.
How awesome
do you want to redo that?
Our next guest on the pod is Mickey's neighbor. No, but holy cow, you can see the fireworks every night.
Yep.
Can you see Tinkerbell like flying off the Magic
Kingdom?
Not that
close.
No.
No. So fun fact, forced perspective, you know how they make forced perspective for the castle makes it look taller than it really is. Well, when you're driving behind Magic Kingdom, in the civilian world, and Magic Kingdom, the castle just blends in with like the street lamps and the light poles and everything. It's you have to know what you're looking for to see it.
Oh wow.
It's nuts.
I don't think I ever really would have noticed or like realized that, you know?
So I'm actually a creeper. I Google Map everything, and I've Google Mapped this before. And like residential life is really close to a lot of these places, including the Magic Kingdom. So you're in one of those neighborhoods behind it.
Yep.
Like you can hear like probably the construction and everything going on and
Not
all that.
quite that close.
No?
So if you, not to be too public,
Oh,
if
I'm
you
looking at a map
Google,
right now. Tell me.
look for Lakeside Village Publix Shopping Center, Lakeside Village Shopping Center.
It's a good thing you like Disney, but like living so close. Was that strategic for you guys to move there? Oh, awesome.
Yes. So I'm originally from Virginia, and my husband is from West Palm Beach, and we met when we were both active duty in the Army in Texas. And so we moved around a few places. Our last duty station was actually Tampa, but the one before that was Savannah, Georgia. And then we moved down to Tampa, and we've always said we wanted to live in Orlando or southeast of it.
And you guys picked the perfect spot.
Yeah, we moved to Tampa. We settled down and made roots in Wesley Chapel, and we built a house we built our dream house. And then COVID hit. He lost his job in the airlines because he was a brand new pilot. I was a nurse in the ER, and ironically, ER shifts were a little bit hard to come by, and at first. Yep. And I had just graduated from nurse practitioner school. And so eventually we just moved to Washington State for a year and a half. And then when we came back, we moved here.
Very nice. Well, first off, thank you for your service. That's amazing that you guys did that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for paying your taxes.
I guess that's the least I can do. I don't know. But
by the way,
that is quite an incredible place to settle down.
Yep.
By the way, greatest TV show of all time, personal opinion, but it's the right opinion, is ER.
Oh, you think so?
Yes. Absolutely.
I was really into I'm still into really into Grey's Anatomy and Scrubs. So I don't know. I haven't seen ER in a long
Scrubs
time
because they actually like consult a lot of actual medical professionals, and they have like surgeons and doctors on set to make sure like things are very accurate.
I learned that when I listened to Fake Doctors, Real Friends on their podcast.
I thought it was more like a comedy show.
It is, but it's accurate.
Yeah, it's very accurate.
Is it?
It's
okay,
a real
cool.
JD.
Well, I can say ER was the same. I don't know if they consulted doctors, but I watched I've seen all like 15 seasons. Loved ER.
Nice.
It's so good. I still will watch it like randomly on YouTube or something. But Steph.
Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, we're all over the place. We actually know you through Will Run For. That's correct, right? Like they introduced us to you. How do you know them?
I was listening to Rise and Run, which they have, the Family Feud going on, and
they still don't know what fake cheese is, apparently.
No, I'm going to be Switzerland in this one, okay? So they mentioned Will Run For, and so I started listening to them, and then I saw that Erin had her breast cancer diagnosis, and I reached out to her, and I wouldn't say really a mentor, but I had someone going through this process before me. And I know that her checking on me and knowing what I was going through meant the world to me because, I said this when I was kind of still new in the process. The woman that I'm talking about, her name is Dawn, and her son and my 9-year-old are best friends. And so we were at the book fair. Scholastic takes my money every year. And she said, "How you doing?" And I said, "I don't know." And she's like, "Yep, I know." And so it's
That's
comforting
a real
and
answer.
it's sad.
It is what it is sometimes, though, right?
Exactly.
Like it's just whatever. It's like you can cut that. I don't know how I want to say that. It just is like this is the day, and
I'm here. So I used to say, I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. I don't know whose dream, but I'm living it. And then I saw something on Facebook, I think it was, and it said, the nightmares persist, and so do I. So that's my new title.
Well, we're jumping right in, it feels like. Here, I got one basic question, and I'm going to try to lead us in that direction, okay? You are our first guest for our annual Breast Cancer Month. This is our third Breast Cancer Month.
That's so cool.
And we're really excited to have you on. But the big thing about this is everyone who has come on as part of our breast cancer awareness series is a runner. So my question first for you is, were you a runner first or did you get breast cancer first?
I I don't even still consider myself a runner. Isn't that ridiculous?
Oh, you're a Disney runner. You're a runner. You've done more things
already
than
dropped
I could
Dopey.
ever
Come
imagine
on.
doing.
I know, and it's so weird. And if someone else were saying that to me, I'm like, you're a runner. But then I'm like, no, I'm not a runner. I hate running.
That imposter syndrome.
I know, isn't it
happens
ridiculous?
to everybody.
Oh, it's awful. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I'm like, I'm so scared. I'm like, he's like, you're going to be fine. I'm like, oh, but no, I loathed running. The first day of active duty, it was Fort Sill. I guess that was my second duty station. My first duty station, I was a lifeguard at Fort Knox, and that was really cool. So my second duty station was training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And we went on a 10-mile run through terrible terrain on train track vessels, up hills, just gravel, you name it. I had bad form. I had terrible shoes, didn't know anything. And we were maintaining about a 7-8 minute mile pace. And it wasn't until around like mile 9.5, right near the end, that I just couldn't take it anymore, because then we started doing circles in the Burger King parking lot, and I smelled breakfast, and I just couldn't take it. And I'm just like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And,
oh my
and
gosh.
then we proceeded to run no less than a mile or 2 miles every single day after that. I developed shin splints and stress fractures from my knees to my heels and both legs, and numerous physical therapists and orthopedic surgeons told me I'd never run again.
Let me ask you this question, though.
Wow.
We've had people come on the pod before, and they say like running always felt like punishment. So you're in not boot camp, but you're stationed somewhere, and they're making you run, and you weren't really a runner before. So did you already kind of have that, like, oh God, this is punishment? You're making me run 10 miles in this heat in this parking lot. Like, it could definitely make someone hate running the way they do it.
I hated running before that because, on ROTC, I went to Virginia Tech, and I was in the ROTC, Air Force ROTC, and then I transitioned to the Army ROTC because I changed my scholarship. The Air Force took away I changed my major. The Air Force took away my scholarship and kicked me out. So
no.
Yes. Yeah. 3 attempts at a college major. Still graduating in 4 years.
Nice work.
Thanks. And so in Army ROTC, we'd have to get up 5:30 every Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. And sometimes we'd run, and oh my God, I hated long run days. I hated it. I hate running in formation. It's awful.
Were they making you run like a certain pace, or were you allowed to run whatever pace you needed to?
It's a group run.
So it was all or nothing, like everybody stuck together.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Okay.
Did you go as fast as your slowest runner, or did like the slow runners have to go harder?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah. It just depended on how we were doing on time, the mood of whoever was leading that day. It was a mixed bag.
So you hate running because you're forced to do this, and then all of a sudden you thought, I'm going to do the Dopey Challenge. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But
yeah, that's an escalation right there.
You've done harder shit. You've done harder shit than us. You've done Dopey 3 times. You do these 5:30 in the morning ROTC runs and military runs. Like Erica
that wasn't
has
my
never.
Choice.
Erica's never seen 5:30 in the morning since graduation of college, and that's only because she was up partying.
That's not quite true anymore. The 5:30 a.m. happens a lot more often with running, with races. So not voluntarily, though. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
So at some point, this has to get better, though. Like you're running and you're probably feeling, well, no, you just told us you went through all the shin splints and the plantar fasciitis and the PT. So yeah, running really did a job on you for a little while.
It did. I was gun shy about running. For 2 years, I had to swim the run portion of my PT test in the Army. And it wasn't until I was deployed and we had a small little gym and I worked on my gait and I was able to do intervals, and I was introduced to Jeff Galloway back when he was recommending like a 1-minute walk interval. That's how long I've been obsessed with the man. And I diligently worked on my gait to be a 4-foot striker instead of a heel striker, because I just figured, as many times as I've tried to defy physics, it's never worked for me. But if I'm like landing on my heel, you just imagine like your body's like a pogo stick and you land on your heel, you're having to fight the energy that is propelling you backwards so you can go forwards. And so it's just exerting so much more energy. And so I've been able to keep the shin splints at bay. I keep KT tape in business and icy hot patches for my back.
Fair enough.
So that deployment was December 2009 to December 2010. And it was during the deployment that I picked up a triathlon magazine, and I was like, "Oh, well, this looks fun. I might try that when I get back stateside." And so, summer of 2011, I suppose. No, I waited until 2012 because my husband was deployed. We married in summer of 2011. Then he was deployed to Afghanistan, and I did a triathlon when he was gone, and so.
Not a big deal.
I still hated running. Still hated it.
You're so much more badass than Erica ever will be.
Honestly, yes. Honestly,
She'll
yes.
never. I keep trying to get her to do a triathlon. She won't do one. What triathlon did you do?
It was a local sprint in Savannah, Georgia.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Still more than me. I won't do it.
It was fun. I entered in the novice division and I took second place, I think.
Excellent
Not
work.
a big deal. Podium finish. Well, way to go. When's the Ironman going to be?
Well, I attempted an Ironman, and I still have a little bit of a vendetta to settle with that one.
Oh, no.
Oh, that sounds like a good story.
Oh, yeah.
I'd stick to the dopies. that would be me.
You've done so much cool shit. All right. So eventually you do land in Florida. You kind of gave us the little lay of the land there, how you became Mickey's neighbor, which is so cool. Next time I'm in Florida, I'm coming to say hi.
Probably the coolest thing we've heard.
That's one of my flexes.
So you actually
I'm just going to go to Disney Springs for dinner. That's a regular occurrence.
Amazing.
Dude. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Something that I call it my little my pro tip, and I don't know if I should share it because
share it with me. Nobody listens to this podcast. No one's ever going to know.
All right.
It's just me and Erica here.
Just between us three.
I love Disney World, by the way. I'm a huge Disney fanatic. I don't ever go, but I love it.
I haven't been.
Tell me what's your insider tip.
When we leave our house, we order Blaze on the Blaze app for pickup, and then when we get to Blaze in Disney Springs, it's already on the little shelf, and it is cool enough to eat, so our kids can like dive right in, and I don't have to worry about them like fighting over who gets what chair on the bench, or he's touching me and he's looking at me and he's breathing my air. So
yep, that totally happens. How old are your kids? I know you said one was 4.
And the other is 9.
Very nice.
Oh, same with mine, pretty much. 8 and 3.
Oh, nice. And you'd think that age difference would be enough to not fight like they do, but no, joke's on me.
You can always find something with your siblings to fight over.
What is it like for them being so close to Disney?
The 9-year-old's like, we're going to Disney again. I'm like, dude, do you know how lucky you are?
Do you have season passes?
Yeah, annual passes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If they're like within walking distance, basically, like, oh yeah.
My run route, my turnaround run route is at 4.5 miles, and that is the back road that takes you to Disney Springs.
How cool is that? I would 100% like run around there. That would make me so happy.
They don't have sidewalks. They don't put sidewalks where they don't want you to be. It's very brilliant, actually. You got to admire them for that.
I know, right?
I think the whole place is like immaculate to me. Like, it's amazing. I love going there and staying there. Let me ask you, are you going or have you already gone to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party?
We have never gone there. We have done the Christmas, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party.
We did that in 2022. It was so cool.
Nice. We did
and
it.
It's like the park's like a third full. We rode Space Mountain like 4 times.
That's it? What?
Oh, I can one up. I'm not a one upper, but I can one up that.
Do it.
We also own DVC. And so.
Oh, that's the vacation club, right?
Yes. We bought it when we lived in Savannah. And so when we moved to Tampa, we went, for a few nights because my husband had a weird scheduled job. So we didn't have to worry about, we can go on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And now we still go and we book a hotel for a night and we just go for a night or two away. And Most of the time, we don't even need a dog sitter because we'll just drive back and come back to the house and take care of the dogs.
There you go.
What hotel will you stay at? Do you stay at a resort or you stay at
do you
like
have
one
a
of the Disney
favorite?
hotels?
We stay all over the place. The kids love Beach Club because they call it the sand pool, and the 4-year-old calls it the Hotello. So apparently he's part Italian. It's probably all the
That's
Olive
cute.
Garden I ate. So they love that Hotello. We like a lot of them. I don't think I have any ones that I hate.
Well, that's good.
It would have been nice to know that Key West didn't have elevators when we stayed there when my 9-year-old was 1 and we had stroller and everything and climbed stairs. Yeah, that was fun. So
We'll stick with running here. You mentioned the name Jeff Galloway. I don't really know who Jeff is, but everyone seems to love him. I've never met him personally. I don't follow his plan, but everyone on the Disney running podcast we hear talks about Jeff Galloway and the Galloway plan. Tell us more about Jeff Galloway. And I have a feeling this is the person who got you to go from hating running to really enjoying it.
How'd you know?
I listened.
Lucky guess, right?
Lucky guess. Jeff Galloway is an amazing human, a national treasure, and just a phenomenal person that just wants everybody else to succeed too. He's an Olympian. I think it was a 76 Olympics.
Montreal.
Montreal.
No, damn it. That was 72.
Germany.
You're right. Thought it was cool.
See, this is why I don't even chime in with that stuff because I'm terrible at history and geography and all of that stuff. So I'm just
damn it, I ruined it.
I'm out.
Continue.
I should get extra bonus points if he listens to this.
No, it was Montreal.
Oh, then it wasn't the 76 Olympics. It was the one it was in Germany.
I know my shit, Erica. Look at me go.
Fair enough. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on the year.
Staying out of it. Well, look up Jeff Galloway. See when he was.
I will. But keep going on Jeff Galloway for me.
I'm sure Steph is right with her year at least, or where you said he was Germany, right? So
I'm sure because it was when the bombings happened.
Jeff Galloway ran in the 1972 Olympics as a member in the 10,000 meters.
Yep.
Good for him.
My bad. Sorry, Jeff.
But that's incredible. Yes.
Yeah. So he owned a running store and was trying to get more people to start running, and then realized that, if he could incorporate planned walk breaks, then people would finish distances they didn't think they could. They could go a little bit faster. Recovery was a lot quicker. And so he's, honed this beautiful scientific method backed up by thousands and thousands of data points. And I'm such a data nerd and love the data behind everything. And so his magic mile, you run a mile at your fastest pace that you can, and then that predicts all of your race times, your finish times, and then it tells you, your intervals, what you should train at. And I'll be damned if that thing is not right on the money.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. It is every time I run a magic mile or I take my marathon PR and then I do the magic mile and it lines right up. I'm like, oh my God. So
that's cool.
It is.
I'm a very data driven person too. I'm in the sciences and I love the numbers too.
Yes.
And we actually have a group around, like it's a local group in like Londonderry, New Hampshire. There's like maybe 15, 20 people who gather on the weekends and they do the Jeff Galloway method, and they may have different intervals that work for them, but they all just gather and they do X amount of miles. It's long run day, and they just do it at the same time together and support each other. So I'm totally on board for the Galloway method. I think it's great.
It's phenomenal. And it's the only way that I can run without, seriously breaking myself. So I'm not proud of my second dopey finish, but I forgot about it. How do you forget about dopey?
But you said finish.
Yeah, well, it was ugly. It was an ugly finish. It was Christmas, and my husband's like, well, you've got your race in like a week? I'm like, no, it's like a few weeks. It's like months away. He's like, Stephanie, it's like in 2 weeks. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh no. Like, it's like trying to cram for like, the SATs or
Oh,
something like
doesn't
the
really
day
work for
before.
races. Oh no.
No, so I was like, well, I guess this is a way to put the Jeff Galloway method to test it out, truly.
Yep.
So I finished. Man, that was ugly, and I do not suggest it. 0 out of 10 stars. Do not recommend.
Still counts as a finish, though.
It
You
does.
gotta own it. That's perfect.
It does.
So how's this work? I'm on his website right now. Do you get personal coaching from Jeff himself? Does he have a team? Is it like
He
they
has a
send you
program.
instructions?
So there's two options. He has a program director as Chris Twiggs, and he's my coach, and he's also a phenomenal person. And or you can sign up with e-coaching with Jeff Galloway. So Chris Twiggs is a little bit cheaper, and so I signed up with him. And he's trained by Jeff Galloway. He follows Jeff Galloway methods. So I was like, it's practically the same thing. And what I have found in the customized training program is this phenomenal family who kept me grounded when I was going through my diagnosis. And I don't know what it would have looked like if I didn't have them.
And then what is the e-coaching then? You get e-coaching by Jeff. Like, what does he do? Do you...
He emails you a training schedule, and then you can email him back and forth of how it went, things like that. With the customized training, we have a Zoom call every Tuesday, morning and night. You can join one, both, or none. And Chris Twiggs is available via text at any time. And where else do you get that? Where you can text your coach at any time.
I was going to say, it feels like you're getting more out of the customized plan, and you said it was cheaper.
Definitely. Just because it's not Jeff himself.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you still get to email Jeff, and that's pretty cool and everything. And I mean, coaching's amazing, and having a plan is amazing. Having something on the calendar is amazing. However it works for you, but it seems like the custom plan is really
it's great because, if I miss something, I'll text them or say, if life happens, like I missed my run today because my 4-year-old woke up with 102.7 fever at 4:00 this morning. And my husband, I was single parenting because he was out on a trip. He's a pilot. And so I was going to run when both kids went to school. So that didn't happen. And then I was going to run when he came home. But then somebody put in a rush order for customized t-shirts, and I'm doing like a vinyl business thing on the side.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I put that order in.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, but my friend is leaving for Grindstone and doing a 100-mile race in Grindstone, Virginia. And he leaves Wednesday, and he's like, oh crap, I forgot to do that on Sunday. And I'm like, Jesus, fine. I'll do it for you.
Not like you're busy enough.
Right.
Oh man. So you mentioned your diagnosis. Okay. And you said like how that team, the Galloway team was essential there. So let's go to like day one. Let's hear your, as we always like to say on the podcast, spare no details, but tell us your breast cancer story here, but then also tell us about how Jeff Galloway and his team and running in the Run Disney community like really helped and supported you through that.
Okay. Well, I joined the customized group, and Chris Twiggs, April of 2023. Yeah, 23. It was right after Springtime Surprise, and I didn't do great. I followed Jeff Galloway's plan, and I was like, I know that I can do more. I need more. I know I'm capable of more. So I just decided to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
My diagnosis came. So I was one of those people that took Mounjaro for weight loss. And I'm sorry for anyone that was impacted by the national shortage. And I had a hand in it. I'm sorry. However, I lost about 70 pounds. And, women's first to go are their boobs. And I felt a lump. And I waited for about 3 months because, you need to make sure it's not connected to your cycle and it doesn't change size, shape, movement, whatever. So when I had my well woman exam with my provider, I brought it up then, and that was June.
So just last year?
June of 23. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
And so that prompted a mammogram with an ultrasound, which prompted a biopsy, which my diagnosis came in August. I had already signed up and started paying for a perfect season at Run Disney. And so I was like, well, shit.
Oh no.
And we had a cruise plan December 4th, because the 3-year-old was going to be 4. He could go to kids club and we could have a grown-up time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was strategically planned for that. And I remember I was standing in the kitchen or in the dining room. My husband walked by and I said, did you get travel insurance on that cruise? He said, yeah, why? I said, I have cancer. And he said, man, a few words, that sucks. Yep, sure does.
I don't know how else to really, I'd be like,
Exactly.
I don't think I'd have
What do you
any word.
say? There's nothing to say.
Yeah.
So, I do all the appointments, and when someone says, I went through breast cancer, you're like, oh, okay, because you just, and I'm guilty of this too. And even as a nurse practitioner, I didn't quite understand how involved it was.
Mm-hmm.
You meet with a breast surgeon, and then a plastic surgeon, and then your oncologist, and then your radiation oncologist, and God forbid if you need chemo, which I didn't. And then so I felt like I was like, I can't even say that I'm a breast cancer survivor because I didn't get chemo. And then I started having survivor's guilt. Like, what the hell?
So there really is a whole team behind it, because I hear other people with cancer saying like, oh, my team, and we had to. It's so many consultations, and I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was more involved than I think I truly realized. So I had my double mastectomy, and here's where it gets really fun. I had my double mastectomy October 27th, so a few days before Halloween. I felt fine afterwards, just felt very sore, as if I did like 1,000 push-ups or something.
Okay.
A really heavy chest arm day. I had my husband push me around in a wheelchair for Halloween because I was like, I'm not going to miss my kid's Halloween. I'm going to be present for it, and you're going to push me in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. And I even took like little glow sticks, the glow bracelets. You know how when we were kids and we put the things that slide up and down the spokes on your bike?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
So I put glow sticks around each individual spoke of
the wheelchair?
On the wheelchair. So when we pushed, I was like clinking, and I was like, had to glow.
I like your style stuff. I do.
Why not? So it was the Thursday after my mastectomy. My mastectomy was on a Friday. And I asked my provider, my plastic surgeon provider, can I walk the wine and dine races? Because I paid for the wine and dine races, all 3 of them, and with the 5K to do with my 8-year-old, now 9-year-old. And I felt so bad because I felt like I was failing him, and I felt that, although he understood. And pro tip, don't leave a book out that says, so you have breast cancer, when your kids can read.
So that broke the news to him. You didn't even have to. Oh.
No. And then so he went to my husband. He's like, does mom have breast cancer? He said, yes, she does. He said, okay. I'm like, oops. Well,
was that a good thing or a bad thing that he saw it without you talking to him?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's no easy way to do that either.
There really isn't. I mean,
no. But at least he has his best friend whose mom was going through the same thing, who I mentioned earlier, Dawn. She's just an amazing person. And so at least he had his friend to talk to if he needed to. And I've always been very open with my kid, and with very medical appropriate language for him. And I've never been the one to talk cutesy about body parts, and we've always used the correct term.
Good.
So I asked the provider if I could walk the races, and she said, because I was on my phone right before she came in to get a virtual queue for the expo, because I was like, I just still want to go to the expo, even though I'm not doing the races, because I love the expo energy, and it's starting to be like a family reunion for me. And she said, well, it's a gray area because you still have your drains in. I'm like, I feel fine. I haven't been taking, I've only been taking my Tylenol at night, or my ibuprofen at nighttime. I don't even need the meds during the day. And I feel fine. I can walk it. And she's like, well, yeah, it's a gray area. If you do, I don't want you to power walk and swing your arms, because I still had my JP drains in.
Okay.
So, me hearing that, I'm like, she said yes.
Selective hearing.
So I remember like walking out of there in tears, and I called my husband, and we can cuss, right?
Oh, yeah.
I said, okay. I said, guess what? She said I can do the races. No fucking way. Are you fucking kidding me? No fucking way. I'm like, yes, you did. What'd she say? And I told him, he's like, no, fuck, I can't fucking believe it. Like,
Excellent.
so I was like, well, and then I text my coach, Chris Twiggs, and I was like, and even if I'm in Corral C, I've got a fighting chance, and because of the balloon ladies. And so, yeah, that's how that started. I went to the expo, I got Corral C, and
that's got to do so much for you mentally and in your head, because you're back with your family now. Like you said, it's like a family reunion.
Yes.
The fact that she said yes, that does so much for you.
And this keeps the streak alive. The what did you call
I paid
it?
for the perfect season.
Uh-huh.
And it starts with wine and dine. So if I didn't get the wine and dine stuff done, it
messed everything up.
Right. Well, it's not recognized by Run Disney yet. And so I was like, man, I'm just going to, not that I'm not going to do all the races anyways, because I mean, it literally is the closest races to me. I mean, so how many people can say that? So I was like, well, I guess I'll have to pay for another perfect season. But yeah, I get to the expo, I got Corral C, and then the 5K day, or I go up to Jeff Galloway's booth. I always visit him and say hi, and I tell him what's going on, and I'm just crying because I'm so excited. And during the diagnosis, my before the mastectomy, my customized family was just, we're here for you and cheering me on. And I kept running through the diagnosis before the mastectomy, because what else am I going to do?
Right.
I lost my job in October of 22. I had a job lined up in December, but they took that away in March. So I kind of went into a little dark place, and I just kept running.
Did you have insurance?
Well, my husband, I have, so
True.
All of my breast cancer is considered a condition from my deployment. So it's covered under the PACT Act. So
it's covered. Okay.
So thank you for paying your taxes again, because all of my cancer treatments are being taken care of by the VA.
Anything I can do, Steph. Anything I can do.
Yeah. Explain. You said it was considered part of your deployment?
Well, it's considered a condition related to being deployed and being near burn pits and toxic areas.
Oh, because we didn't even talk about what kind of cancer you had. We know it was breast cancer, but was it a specific type? Was it actually caused by those?
Well, no one can really know. They're assuming that all the reproductive cancers are related. If you were deployed to some of the austere locations, then yes.
Damn.
Steph. Can't prove it yes, and you can't prove no.
Okay.
Well,
but at least it's
I
covered.
guess that's reassuring that you're covered.
Yes.
Especially without a job and everything. Like, that's super reassuring.
Right. And then my husband has insurance through his job. So, so I guess it was, a blessing in disguise, because I was able to concentrate on not worrying about a job and being able to go through these surgeries and all these appointments. So rewinding back to wine and dine, I just decided on the 5K that when I'm getting up near the start line, I'm going to say hi to Riley Claremont, because he usually does stories with people. And I say, yeah, I'm walking all the races, and I just had a mastectomy 7 days ago, and I still have my drains in. He's like, I'm sorry, what?
Right.
And then he says Carissa Galloway, Jeff Galloway's daughter-in-law, and John Pelkey, they're the race announcers on stage, and they're just like, their jaws drop. They're like, wait, what? So
7 days ago.
7 days ago.
That's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. I can't say it would be something I would do, but I mean, if I got the doctor's go ahead, you better believe I would have done it too.
Yeah, well, it was a gray area.
Right, yeah.
Gray area.
He said yes. They said yes.
She said yes.
You can walk, but take it easy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay.
What time of the year? This must be November, and you said it's a 5K.
5K, and then the next day is a 10K, and then the next day was a half marathon.
And you're going to walk all three.
And I did.
Yes.
And how did those go? Like,
fine.
It was fine.
Perfect.
Like, you weren't sore from doing the 5K and 10K and the half the next couple days. Like,
No.
how'd the valves and the drains and everything work out?
Fine. I had the JP drains. They're tubes that are coming out of your body, and they are attached to bulb syringes where it works on negative pressure. So you squeeze the bulbs, you connect it to the tube, and as it fills with fluid, the bulbs expand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had them pinned to a bulb belt, and then I had an abdominal binder wrapped around just to keep them secure so they wouldn't flop around like, deflated boobs.
Kind of distracting while you're trying to do these races.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was how I did that. On my plastic surgeon appointment, I said, she's like, well, there's some people that just get so winded and exhausted just walking in their mailbox. I'm like, sure. But I'm sure you don't have a whole lot of people that run a virtual marathon the day before their mastectomy either. And I did. So it was my long run. So.
Not a big
for you,
deal.
Good for you.
She's like, well, I was like, so.
What did they say after you go back to the doctor's appointment? The doctor who says, okay, take it easy, you can do it. And he's like, yeah, she said yes. What was her response after?
I didn't tell you could.
Really?
I didn't say that.
You didn't
yeah.
say no.
And I'm like, yeah, but you did. You said it was great. I would never say that. So being
Doctor
a medical
talk.
provider, being a medical provider myself, I know that she's probably like trying to cover her tracks. And
Oh, definitely.
yeah, so I was like, whatever. I didn't have any problems with it. I still got my drains out the week after, which is 2 total weeks where rarely people get it out that quickly.
Oh.
So, I mean, nothing bad happened of it. So whatever. So.
Well, that's great to hear. And it's good to hear that your body recovered enough that quickly where you didn't have to keep them in for so long.
Yeah, those are painful. I hated those things.
What's the average time that somebody would have to have those in?
3 to 4 weeks is the average.
Oh, wow. So you
Yeah.
did half the time. That is great.
Yeah. So that happens. I meet with my radiation oncologist, and she said, well, we can start radiation in the next few days. And I meet with her, mid-November.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, I've got a cruise coming up. So can we do it like after the cruise? She was like, yeah, sure. So we
That's
do.
good that it's flexible enough. So your cancer wasn't super invasive where like you already had the mastectomy and
Yeah, I had the mastectomy, and they took out 2 lymph nodes. It was in one lymph node and not the other.
So was the radiation to just make sure it didn't spread anywhere else or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. For another preventive measure.
That's great.
Yeah.
And no chemo.
No chemo. They take your tumor and they perform what they call an onco score, or they perform onco testing, which onco means cancer genes. And so my onco score had to be 11 or under, or 11 or over to earn chemo, and mine was 10.
Okay.
So I barely escaped chemo by the skin of my teeth.
That's still great news because we've heard about the toll that it takes on your body, and I'm just happy that you didn't have to go through that.
Yeah. But I felt like a fake. It was,
Oh gosh.
Well, you said the same thing about running, and you're a runner. And
Right.
you're saying it
isn't
about
that-
cancer, and you're a cancer
Isn't that
survivor.
ridiculous?
You're not a fake.
Mhm.
There's no imposter syndrome. Well, I mean, we all have it. Eric and I are podcasters,
I don't
but
think.
sometimes it's weird to say.
I feel like an imposter there, but I mean, everybody gets that feeling. It doesn't matter what it's towards, but I'm glad it was not as hard as it could have been.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
So you didn't have to do chemo, but you still did radiation.
I did radiation. I earned 5 weeks, Monday through Friday. And my first radiation appointment was the day after the 5K of the Dopey Challenge. So I did the
Whoa.
Dopey Challenge.
Wait a
Whoa,
second.
whoa. We're both doing the same thing. Like, so the day after the 5K. So
No, day of.
Oh, so wait a minute. You're doing
Hold on.
you're doing radiation while you're doing these races because you were.
Yeah.
I assume you still
While
did
she's
the race.
doing these races,
For the
Erica,
Dopey
Yes.
Challenge.
while she's doing the
Well,
Dopey Challenge.
Before, no, this must have been after that because it's 5:00 in the morning. But you still,
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I did the 5K. of dopey,
Blowing my
and
mind,
then
Steph.
I had to be at the VA hospital here in Orlando at 9 or 10. And then I had my first radiation appointment. And that was a Thursday. And then I did the same thing Friday after the 10K.
10K.
I'm at
Yep.
a loss for
Radiation.
words here.
And then
Many
did you do
people
a
were.
half
You
a marathon radiation, then a marathon radiation?
Yes.
Well, those are on the weekend though. Did you have
So
to
no, my radiation is Monday through Friday. So sorry, I misspoke.
No, that's perfect. But
Yeah,
But you still did a half a marathon and a marathon.
Well, kind of. It was
right after
that weekend, but that weekend was the Ultra 10K or the Ultra 10K. It was the half marathon that the course got cut because of weather. So it was the half of the half.
No, you were still going to do it. You were still going to do it.
I would count it.
She doesn't feel like a runner. She runs a race right after radiation.
I walked all 3 of those and I ran the marathon because my coach told me to.
That's amazing.
Damn straight, coach. Good job.
All right, so you had radiation after you did this 5K.
My mind is blown.
What did it do to your body? Like, how did it make you feel? And were you prepared to do? So it didn't hurt you enough to hinder you during that 10K?
No, it was the first. It was the first. The radiation doesn't get more intense until later on.
Do you think because you were so active doing these races before everything and during?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's why I wanted to keep doing this, because I feel like it's so important going through any sickness to stay active.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Active recovery. I know it's sometimes hard to get your body to do that because sometimes you just don't feel well. But if you are feeling well and you can, go for it.
I'm blown away. My mind is blown.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, yes. All right. So radiation during the dopey challenge, that you're going to say, well, it wasn't really a dopey because they shortened the race. Bullshit. Still a dopey. You still were going to do it. And I know for a fact, a lot of those runners went and finished their half marathon later that day or early in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I didn't.
Well, sorry, but you have a little bit of a pass.
I had to do the half marathon with a bunch of people. I did it in 2017, my only dopey. And we had bad weather for the half marathon. So I ran laps around my resort and there were probably 50 other people doing it too. So you're going to earn those medals. So I'm proud of you guys for finishing.
The reason I didn't do the rest of the miles is because I was going to walk them anyways. I've done dopey before. I have been, since the middle of my training block or so, I've run a half marathon for my long run or longer of a half marathon.
You
I had no problem that I wouldn't finish.
Absolutely.
So you said it gets better.
Yeah.
Spare no details. Fill me in here.
So let's see. So that's dopey. So middle of February, I suppose. I went up to Jacksonville for the Donna Marathon to finish breast cancer, and I did the half marathon. And I'm calling that my PR. People are going to laugh, but it was 2:32 on the nose, and I don't think I'll ever be able to do .00 ever again. But that was pretty fun.
Good timing.
I don't think anyone's laughing.
Well.
No. That's respectable.
It's going to be those people that are saying that nobody else belongs in Boston.
They don't listen to this podcast.
Touche.
Honestly, they probably don't. We're not elitist here. We love all paces.
Yeah. So I had like 3 or 4 more radiations after that weekend. So I did a half marathon during and ran all through my radiation treatments. So.
Good for you.
Yeah, I came home and finished radiation. And then March 1st. Then I did Princess.
I was going to say, can't forget about Princess.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Princess. That's probably my least favorite weekend. I love first time runners. I do. But that weekend attracts so many first-time runners. It was hard on the course. It was so crowded, and then I just kept getting elbowed in the chest.
No,
and that hurt.
It's that etiquette we talk about with the Disney runners. We've heard about that.
Yeah, we had that conversation on the Will Run For when they were talking to us.
It was. I love runner. I love first time runners. I love like taking people under my wing and helping them to the finish. I love it. But
You're gonna
man,
throw
that's
elbows though. Come on.
I mean, if you are doing nearly an entire 180 in your running form, no, you're just expending so much energy.
They just need a little work. They need to reassess their
Oh
running
man,
style.
man,
Just a little bit.
talk about physics not working for you. Yeah.
Oh.
So I did Princess, and that was fine. And I thought that I could try to PR the half again, only like 2 weeks after my other one, and that was dumb. But have a lot of those good moments. So March 1st rolls around. Right before that, I go out with my friend Adam because he was running some stupid amount of miles as he usually does. He's the one going up to Grindstone doing a 100-mile race.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was only supposed to run 8 or 9 miles on my schedule. Somehow I ended up doing 14. And so apparently my MO is doing stupid amount of miles the day before a major surgery, because March 1st, I have a total hysterectomy with bilateral salping oophorectomy, which means all of my lady plumbing is gone. So I don't have fallopian tubes, ovaries, uterus, nothing. So
was that cancer related, or was that a separate thing?
It was because my cancer was hormone positive.
Mm-hmm.
They were either going to put me in chemical induced menopause, or but I asked for a mechanical induced menopause because I just don't want to be on more medication. So I was like, well, let's take everything out. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I had a hysterectomy March 1st, and then I started walking again to try to maintain my endurance on March 3rd. And then I walked 100 miles in March.
So you.
My mind keeps getting blown.
Your resolve
you put it on paper
is incredible.
And it looks terrible.
Your resolve is just incredible. But like you said, that the walking, it's helping you recover. It's the active recovery. So I'm here for it.
And I asked my GYN surgeon, I'm like, can I walk? And he's like, running for 6 to 8 weeks, you can walk.
What do they know?
Because I had, because I have a half marathon weekend. I have the Jeff Galloway weekend in Atlanta on St. Patrick's Day weekend. And he's like, well, you can't run. I'm like, okay, I'll walk it. And I said, so any caps on distance? He's like, nope, I just walk as fast as you're comfortable. Okay. So
100 miles in March, you're just
and I didn't walk a half marathon in Atlanta. I just I did 6 miles. I don't remember. 6 miles, I think. Walked 6 miles. I don't remember, but
that's still incredible. I'm just blown away. Honestly, your resolve is great.
We call that hard-headed around here.
Oh,
and this is all less than a year. That
was March this year.
You felt the lump in April after the weight loss, and then you had.
I felt it in February-ish.
Oh,
right. So
I waited a few months before I brought it up just to make sure.
But from the point of bringing it up and getting testing and diagnosis and everything, you never stopped.
No,
you kept going.
Why?
Right. That's the best answer. Why? Why stop?
Why? Yeah. So let's see. That's March. April is the Run Disney.
Talking this year now.
Yeah. Still this year. April is the Springtime Surprise Run Disney. I paced the race announcer, John Pelkey, for his first 10K finish. And oh my God, what an honor to be able to pace somebody, to have them trust you, to take you to them to the finish line. I'm so proud of that man. Oh my God. I loved him to death. That made me cry watching him cross the finish line. I cried.
Aww.
And then the 10 miler.
How did that happen? How did he come to you and ask you to do it?
We got to talking during the Jeff Galloway weekend because he was there, and he just mentioned it, and he said I really like running with people because I can talk and it gets my mind out of things, and I just mentioned I can pace you for whatever race, and just kind of beautiful disaster, if you will, I suppose. So, yep,
that's awesome.
And I I'd like to think that he thinks the same, but I think he and his wife are becoming very close friends.
Great.
So I love them. They're great.
So
I
at
don't.
this
Maybe
point,
he's just using you because you're Mickey's neighbor.
He lives around here too.
Ah, damn.
So at this point, did you keep up your perfect season?
Yes, I did. I
that
finished.
the last of it, or what? I don't even know how many.
Four
There was Wine and
race
Dine,
weekends.
Wine and Dine, Princess, Springtime Surprise, and Dopey. Right?
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yep. Yep. So I bought the silly sash. It says perfect season, and yeah,
Own it.
I did a perfect season.
Perfect season with cancer.
Yep.
That comes off. That sounds weird, but you got the perfect season with cancer.
Well, I mean, if you want to split straws, I mean, I didn't have cancer anymore.
So when
that
did
we know of.
When was that official?
Got a point.
The mastectomy.
Okay. So
yeah,
it's not like a test later.
No, not yet. I mean, I'm sure I'll get some scans at some point down the road. But yeah. Yeah. So during the whole cancer thing, we did genetic testing to make sure, because my paternal grandfather had pancreatic cancer.
Mm-hmm.
My dad had prostate cancer twice, the second time being right around that 5-year mark where you should be clear. He got it again. Actually, he's just finishing up the second treatment now. And then his sister, so my paternal aunt, has pancreatic cancer. In my mind, I was like, well, I have the BRCA gene because all of those are cancers related to a BRCA mutation.
Yep.
BRCA mutation or having a BRCA gene is very, very rare. But I mean, it gets the most spotlight, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been discovered that I have a mutation of the von Hippel-Lindau gene, which predisposes me to cancers of brain, adrenal glands, which are the glands that sit on top of your kidneys, pancreatic cancer. I think my oncologist said retinal cancer. So,
wow.
Fun. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that's awesome. And it's a autosomal dominant gene, so it's probably guaranteed that my boys have it. I know that's going to make me cry, so I'm just going to kind of gloss right over that. So I'll get them tested.
We won't dig, don't worry.
Well, I was just going to ask, like, what are you going to do
He'll
then?
ask, yeah.
Yeah, what happens?
Sir, do you realize she doesn't want to talk about that? Just kidding.
You can talk. It's fine. I'm quite okay being vulnerable.
It's a tough subject, yeah.
Knowing all this and knowing what you just been through, what's next?
Well, let's see. I've got a lot of races on my calendar to the point my coach told me to stop adding things. It was so bad.
Are you going to go through for the perfect season again?
It's probably going to be an accidental perfect season. Or maybe a perfect challenge season, as my 9-year-old likes doing the 5Ks with me.
Okay.
And then I've got my 4-year-old who will be 5 in December. He signed up for the 5K and for the springtime surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So in case my husband is gone, I don't have to miss it, and I just take both of them with me.
True.
That's so cool. You're going to do it with them too.
Yeah. And then the big one will be old enough to where I can, send him on his way, and I'll have friends that, can spot him and run with him. So
good call. So with your husband being a pilot, how often is he away? Like, do you have to parent solo a lot, or is it just a sometimes thing?
He used to be an instructor pilot, and then they had some reorganizing, and now he's back holding a line, which means I call him a real pilot now. But he was in the simulators training all the other pilots.
Gotcha.
But he won't be gone a lot. But when he is gone, he's based here out of Orlando. So thankfully he doesn't have to commute to go catch a plane to go fly it.
True.
So that's a big help. And so, yeah, that's
good.
It's not going to be terrible. At least the little one is in daycare or voluntary pre-K, VPK, as we have here in Florida. So that's helpful.
Excellent.
Well, I do know what's coming up soon for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got Wine and Dine coming up.
That's not even what he's talking about. I know what he's talking about.
Let's backtrack a little bit. We talked about We'll Run For. How do you know Erin? Have you talked to her before? Have you met in person? Have you been closer now that you both have breast cancer and have that connection?
So I started reaching out to her when she went public with her diagnosis. And I was listening to the podcast and I could just hear it in her voice. Like she wanted to say more and I it's kind of just something that another cancer survivor just hears. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a silent, I need something. And so, I heard it in her voice. I remember seeing her at Springtime Surprise 10 Miler when we were coming out of the bathroom in Toy Story Land. But I was dressed as a warthog, so I don't know if she really put the two and two together.
I bet she remembered you though. Oh, she's the warthog.
She's the warthog. I mean, I had the nose. I had oh my God, it was amazing.
That answers a question I did have because I forgot to ask you if you dressed up for your races, but
so, yes,
yeah, you did
for the up 10K. I just was cleared from my hysterectomy, mm-hmm. and I had a white skirt, a brown top, and I was Doug, but on my white skirt, I vinyled Cone of Shame. I do not like the Cone of Shame because I was fixed.
I love your sense of humor. The Cone of Shame.
I do not like the Cone of Shame.
Doug is one of my favorites. He's so freaking
Isn't he
cute.
Great?
So
yeah. I ran as Doug with the Cone of Shame because I was fixed.
Yep. And then you bump into Erin, seeing her as a warthog. So
yep.
Go on.
Yeah. So yeah, I was reaching out to her and would occasionally check on her. And then just probably a few weeks ago, she and I were going back and forth a little bit more via Instagram messaging. And I messaged her and I'm like, I just had a brilliant idea. And I know that you're busy, even though she's now she's unemployed. But somehow we still remain very busy, even though we're unemployed. We joked about that. So I had a crazy idea. I'm like, what do you think about us doing a podcast? She's like, actually, I love it. She's like, I didn't want We'll Run For to turn into to a cancer podcast. And I'm like, I completely understand. And I hear that in your voice. I hear that you wanted to talk more and you need somebody that understands what you're going through, understands the importance of running and just gets it. And she's like, I love it. So we've just kind of run with it. And our first episode will be debuting, I guess, the day this airs on October 1st.
That's
really?
So exciting.
Yes.
So have you already recorded it or you
No. So we are recording on September 19th.
So if you're listening right now, it is October 1st. This is the first day of our breast cancer series. And after you listen to this episode, go check out Stephanie and Erin's new podcast. Does it have a name?
It does. I'm wondering if we're going to get any flack for it, but it's called Pace Yourself. It's just cancer.
I love it. That is awesome.
And we didn't want to make it just breast cancer because, a lot of people are going through different types of cancer. So we are going to be focusing on all types of cancer.
Are you going to just talk between the two of you? Or are you going to have a guest on? Is it going to be a hybrid style? We're
planning on having guests on. And, we've talked about, different segments. I keep like this list of ridiculous, funny things that my 4-year-old does because he is like another next level funny kid. Like, I guess the comedic timing of my 4-year-old is ridiculous. So we're going to have a segment called Pint-Sized Chaos. And it's just going to be me just, just a little tiny blurb of the ridiculousness of my 4-year-old. But our guests are going to be, breast cancer survivors, colon cancer survivors, you name it. And then sometimes we have plans on bringing on medical providers to talk, and even family members.
That's so cool. That's going to be a cool journey to go on and hear from all those people. I'm glad you're doing just cancer in general, because you can talk to so many people and hear so many.
Exactly.
What's the like? Is it going to be? Do you want to hear their story, or the stories within the story, or are you looking to spread education and awareness?
All the above.
All the above.
Well, since I'm a nurse practitioner, a family nurse practitioner, we're going to have what we call, what do we say? Medical fun fact of the week.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And of course, a disclaimer, even though Stephanie is a medical provider, please seek advice from your medical team.
Yeah, Erica reminds me to do that a lot of the time. She goes, "We should put a disclaimer in here."
We are not doctors. I can just, I'll tell you to stretch all I want, but I don't hurt yourself.
Aaron and I were talking. We were FaceTiming or Zooming. I think we're Zooming, and she said, "Yeah, we need to put a disclaimer. Even though we're not providers, but I am." So, she's like, "Oh my God, you are."
Get out of the liability. No liability.
I know. No, my license would appreciate a discllaimer.
So are you guys going to pin Michael to edit this, or how is that going to work out?
That's the rumor on the street. That's what she's volunteered.
Well, I know a guy. Otherwise,
I think he's been voluntold.
Yep.
There you go, Michael.
I was gonna say I know a guy if he doesn't come through.
Oh, I think we know a lot of guys. So you've actually been on quite a few podcasts I've checked out. You're not new to podcasting. You'll just be new to hosting. Are you excited?
I am so excited. I was talking to John Pelka the other day, and I'm like, part of me is like, nobody's going to listen because nobody really cares, and we don't have anything that anybody's going to care to listen to. And then I said, but that really sounds stupid, because the feedback that I've received and the support I've received from all the other podcasts I've been on has been overwhelming, just so incredibly amazing. So I think that, Aaron and I are going to fill this little niche that hasn't been explored in the way we're doing it, I think.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yep.
I'm so excited. And she and I will, we'll talk about our training and how's it going, and, how it's affecting, how our treatments are affecting our running and our training. And I'm on the tail end of treatments. I'm just awaiting my final surgery for what I'm calling my Lululemon boobs. They're going to be small and athletic.
Your Lululemon boobs. You can fit in the nice little cloud bra. I like those.
I'm going to be able to run with a medium impact bra, and that has never happened in my entire life, and I am so excited.
And your sports bras are going to be so much cheaper now.
I know. I don't have to have the gigantic granny straps, the big wide straps. So
that's the one thing I like about my small boobs, is that it's like you can get the cute patterns and the cute prints, and you really don't need that much support. Yeah.
Right.
For you, Lululemon boobs.
I can't contribute to this.
Yeah, you got
my boobs might be bigger than Erica's, though.
They might. We haven't measured. We haven't compared. I don't think we're going to.
Not anytime.
I don't think your wife would approve. And we're done.
Yeah, I joke. I'm like, so am I allowed to go shirtless now because these aren't my organic boobs? With
good question.
Right?
Are you gonna push?
I don't even have any nipples because my tumor was too close to the nipple to spare my nipple, so it's just blank Barbie boobs.
This is all you, Erica.
A random story. This has nothing to do with boobs, but we were talking about how we run with our hands and how some people grip really hard. I run with Barbie hands a lot of times. Just because I don't know, my hands just don't go in a fit.
Nice.
I would match.
I think I run like a velociraptor. My 9-year-old would be very proud because I have little claws and I'm just grabbing the air I'm trying to claw my way through.
Everybody's got their unique style, and it works for you. Go for it.
Even sometimes it's I look at my hands and I'm like, rawr.
You make the most of it. That's all you can do.
Exactly.
But that's good. Surgery's almost done for you. Then hopefully this is the end of your cancer journey.
Hopefully.
Does it really, is it really the end? Are you always,
No.
or do you go into remission and you just?
So I've been in remission since the mastectomy, and
Mhm.
it really didn't hit me until somebody said, people just throw around the word mastectomy, but it's truly an amputation.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Mhm.
it didn't hit me until I heard that, and I'm like, well, damn,
Mm.
you're right. Like, people are like, oh, mastectomy and mastectomy. I'm like, and so I'm like, yeah, also an amputation.
When you
So
put it like that, I mean, it does
it
put it
carries a
into a
little bit
different
more weight,
perspective.
doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a little sombering.
Mm.
So yeah, I've got follow-ups. I've got, since I'm in full-blown menopause. Oh yeah, I'm not even 40 yet. I'll be 40 in a few days after this airs.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. Yeah, so I get rid of my baseline mammogram, turned into my last mammogram.
Oh,
I mean, that wasn't even my baseline; that was a diagnostic mammogram, so that turned into my last mammogram. And then I got out of it without having to have any more pap smears ever again in my entire life.
I mean,
So
that's not
I'm trying to
terrible.
look at the
But
silver lining,
the fact that like what it took to get to that point,
right?
that's not.
There's got to be an easier way.
Uh,
Well,
Yeah,
Eric,
so I'm in full blown menopause, and that has been the
uh,
hardest part for me.
so it's just adjusting to everything new that's going on with your body. Like it's
Yeah,
throwing you out of whack.
I have to be on an aromatase inhibitor,
Mm-hmm.
tamoxifen. I'm currently on anastrozole for the next 10 plus years of my
Oh,
life.
wow.
And so it causes muscle aches and joint pains, and I just kind of feel run down like flu all the time, still trying to run. And I'm just, the brain fog is just awful. And then I'm also, thank God, the hot flashes were absolutely awful. At nighttime, I couldn't sleep. I was getting about 1 or 2 hours of sleep, and then finally I
Oh
was able to get on
no.
this medication called Veoza, and I forget the generic name, but it acts on the temperature control center of your brain. So it is like basically took my hot flashes down to basically nothing. Like during the day, I could tolerate the hot flashes, but then it
Mm-hmm.
started taking away my sleep, and I was just unbearable. I hated myself.
I mean, your body is so tired anyways, and if you can't get a good night's sleep, it
Yeah,
runs you
it was
down even
just,
more, and it's a
it was
vicious
snowballing.
cycle.
It
Mm-hmm.
was terrible.
Yeah, that's awful. Ah,
So
well, I hope that you can navigate the new you, and I hope that it treats you treats you right. It sucks that they have all these new medications that you have to take, but I just hope that it works with you and eventually you start feeling more like yourself. And
yeah,
but I really do have to commend you for just staying active through this whole thing. It can't be easy, but you're just still pushing through. You're just trying
yeah,
to get back to where, I don't want to say that, find a new normal.
yeah. Every 6 months, I've got to have an infusion to help prevent osteoporosis,
Oh
because
wow.
my anastrozole causes bone loss. And so I
Oh
just
my
had my
gosh.
baseline DEXA scan last week or so, which was normal. So
Hmm. The
I've,
side effects, like, oh my gosh,
I
it's just
know.
they're helping yet they're hurting, and what do you
Yep.
do to combat this? And there's another drug, and just
Yep. So fun times are
oh,
had by
Steph.
all.
Hmm. I'm so sorry that you had to go through this, but you just seem so strong, and
Thanks.
we're rooting for you. And I'm so excited for the new endeavor that you and Aaron are going through with the podcast. So we got Pace Yourself, It's Just Cancer, and that's what the Instagram handle is, correct?
Yes, it
Excellent.
is.
I'm gonna be checking that out for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, we've tried to incorporate as many colors of the cancers as we could to try to encompass everybody. And the
Gotcha.
purple ribbon is all cancer. So
Oh, very well. I have to say very nice. Purple's my favorite color, so
yes.
I will support all the cancers, and I will support your podcast because I think that's
Well,
an
thank
awesome thing
you.
that you guys are doing.
I can't wait. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be fun, exciting, and a little scary. So
I mean, yeah, it always is starting a new thing. So
right,
it's just
exactly. If you're not scared, I always say if it's a little scary, then it means it's going to be something big.
Of course, yes. And it's worthwhile. And you guys will find your groove. It'll take no time. I mean, Erin knows what she's doing with the
Yeah.
Run For thing. So
Oh my
she's
God,
going to bring her
how
energy.
lucky am I to have an experienced podcaster with me
Mhm.
starting out on my starting out with me podcasting too.
Mhm.
So
You guys are going to be great.
it's going to be great.
You already
I'm so
got the
excited.
mic.
I know.
I
This
think
was
I
a
need a new
Pelkey
boom
recommendation.
cover.
You need
So
a couple
sorry.
things, and you already got them. You need a mic and headphones. You need a name and a logo, and then you build an identity.
Awesome.
That's what you do. And I'm
That's
excited
Eric's
for
free
whatever
tip.
you two just talked about the last 5 minutes that I missed.
I was just
Yep.
complimenting her on being so strong and navigating the new normal.
Well, let me tell you what I think about you, Stephanie.
Oh
Or
boy.
as I'll call you, Steph. I
Oh, boy.
was blown away from this. All right. So today we were supposed to record with Erin and she had to reschedule. And she says, but I have the most wonderful person to take my spot. I said, all right, give her to me. So she threw this on me and said, here's Stephanie, meet Stephanie. And she like made the connection. And I'm like, what's up, Steph? This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I knew nothing about like the timeline here of the cancer, right?
Right.
We're talking, it's only been a year and a half. And I had no clue you'd like had the perfect season. And then you go into radiation and then a 5K. The next day, radiation or vice versa, 5K radiation, 10K. I'm blown away. Do you remember
Same.
how we opened this podcast and you go, well, I don't really consider myself a runner.
Yeah, I know that was going to come bite me back in the ass.
Perfect.
Like there's people out there who aren't doing anything remotely close to you the same day as radiation or like a week after surgery.
It's funny you say that because when I finished radiation treatments, my radiation oncologist I normally tell people when they're starting, like, don't go doing anything. You're going to be sore. No, not sore. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be tired. Don't do anything like go out and run a marathon, but you did. I'm like, yeah, and a few half marathons too.
Your whole team's going to listen to this and be like, she's bonkers, that one.
And then after
wild.
you do it,
Well,
they're going to come
they're
back
in
and
you-
go, I didn't say you could.
No,
But you didn't
she
say
was,
no.
She was so supportive and amazing, and my radiation oncology team actually even recommended me to be a guest speaker for the a breast cancer awareness fair at the VA hospital. So
wow,
that was fun. That was really cool.
You just keep impressing me, Steph. Like this whole
Seriously.
episode, I was impressed. This is a lot of fun. Like I said, it's our third year doing the annual breast cancer awareness series. I don't have much I can ever contribute to it, right? Because I really haven't been affected by cancer in my life personally, or even like outside. I've known a few people who've had it, and most of them all have beaten it. And I'm just like a believer in you're going to kick ass and beat cancer. But we decided to do the series because someone one day was like, oh, I know someone you need to talk to on the podcast, and she had breast cancer. And that's where it started. So there's a lot of words and a lot of terminology and a lot of booby talk. And I'm just like, I'm gonna lean back and let you guys talk about that. But I feel like it's really important because the running community is so supportive, and the cancer community in that within that running community seems to be
Even tighter.
right.
Absolutely.
And it's important for anyone, whoever is going through this, to stay active and to keep doing their normal life, everyday things, because it's not over. You don't have to stop. You just have to act and take action and beat it. And you exactly did that. You didn't stop. You kept doing everything you were doing, and you didn't let like a doctor saying, I don't know.
She's just listening to her body, and her body said, hey,
Yeah.
I can do this. So.
You're like, well, not everyone here does a marathon the day before surgery. Like I do. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I did.
Badass. So
I have the virtual bib pinned right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I feel like this is an important month every year because nothing's over. You're going to tackle this. The running community is so cool and so important, and they're so supportive. And it shows everyone we've had on how impactful the entire community has been. And the message, I think, is just keep doing it. Keep going. Don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? So I call this the in between. I can't control the diagnosis. I can't control my treatments to an extent. I'm medical, so I'm going to follow evidence-based medicine and do everything they recommend for me. I can't control the doctor's appointments and that, but I can control what happens in between. I can write that story. I can't write the other parts, but I'm in control of the in-between.
Well said.
I love
Well
it.
said,
I love
Steph.
it. This has been a lot of fun, but we have two final big questions. They don't really end up ever being the final questions. We have these two big questions. We do them every episode, not just breast cancer, but I'm going to go first. Okay. We have the Code Brown commandments. I don't know if you noticed on our logo, the little running poop emoji. His name is Stooley. And a Code Brown, though, isn't necessarily crapping yourself, right? A Code Brown could be something you probably run into in Florida on occasion, an alligator during your run. A Code Brown could be terrible chafing and how to avoid it. And so the Code Brown commandment is exactly that. How to avoid a Code Brown. My favorite, this is mine, is diaper rash cream cures chafing overnight. We have some people who might be like, hey, leave no trace or nothing new before race day. Do you have a Code Brown commandment to share with us where thou shall do or not do something to make their run more enjoyable, to avoid the Code Brown, to avoid any oh crap moment?
How serious do you want it to be?
It doesn't need to be serious.
It can be all over the map. We got some good ones. Like, don't wear gray leggings while you exercise, because the sweat marks make you look like you peed yourself.
Yep.
So that's an example, but go wherever you want with it.
Well, I run by myself, and I to beat the Florida heat, can't beat the humidity. To beat the sun, I'm sometimes hitting the road at 3:00 in the morning, depends on the distance. And so I call that, stupid early or run Disney early. I run with a gun. So
you're not
protect
the only
yourself.
one.
No, I'm not. And I have a concealed carry license. I've got this running pack that I got from Amazon. It's phenomenal. And it's a little Ruger 380 with hollow point bullets. So when it hits its target, it explodes. Dead men tell no tales.
Don't mess with Steph. Don't do it.
So
That's it. Thou shalt not mess with Steph.
I'm going to put that as the second one. Thou shalt protect yourself while running.
Absolutely. So, one morning, it was 4:15 in the morning, and I did a different route. But it's not, I live, this is not a bad area, but I was in it, and I wasn't very far from home either. So I was running by this playground, and I hear voices at the playground, and it's about 3 or 4 voices that I could tell. Excuse me. And then I hear the playground gate just slam close. I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. And then I hear the kid, and it sounds like prepubescent kids, maybe, in and out of puberty or so.
Yeah.
Like, who is that? What is that? That's a person. I'm going to chase it. And this teenager starts chasing me.
Oh, God.
And I guess this is where you know what you're made of. And apparently I have balls of brass. And I turn around, I stop, and I yell, "Stop, I have a gun." And thankfully this kid believes me. And he's about 200 yards away. And he's like, okay, I'll go. Oh, and then he runs back to his delinquents. And then they start yelling and profanities at me and calling me, derogatory names. I'm like, okay. But oh my God, it still lives with me because I could have ruined his life that day. I could have changed his life, changed my life. And thank God he believed me. And I have pepper spray with me too. I have non-lethal means as well.
Yeah.
But me saying, "Stop, I have pepper spray," doesn't quite carry the same weight.
No. But that's a scary thing. Nobody wants to encounter anything out of the ordinary on a run. So
right. I mean, I don't, he wasn't earning any Boy Scout badges at 4:15 in the morning at a playground. That's for sure.
No.
So
that is a perfect one, though. And it applies to not only women, but men also, just anybody in general. Just protect yourself. And
absolutely. Hopefully
you don't need it.
Yeah, we know a few people up here in New Hampshire who run with guns too. So, and that was talked about quite a bit about 2 years ago. So shout out Justine, who definitely talked and advocated a lot of women are just running safety. And she runs with one all the time too. So we know a few.
My dad showed me this website. It's called Byrna, Byrna, and it looks like a gun, but it's pepper spray. And so it's legal in all 50 states. So if you can't get a concealed and carry, or if you're not comfortable with a gun, with a real one, then you can carry this, and it looks formidable.
So it'll scare the shit out of somebody.
Exactly. And it gives you a couple extra minutes, if you need it. So
that's actually, I'm going to look that up.
They're a little bit expensive, but
hey, for safety, it's
exactly.
Yeah. Can you put a price on that?
So is a funeral. So
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
So that is a perfect Code Brown commandment. I totally love that one.
Thou shalt protect themself.
Yep. Thou shalt not mess with Steph.
Thou shalt return home.
Yes. All return home. But to kind of flip things, I guess my question's a little lighthearted. So we have a Spotify playlist, and we like to invite our guests to add songs to it. So do you have a song that you are totally into at the moment that you would like to add to our playlist?
My theme songs throughout this journey, before cancer, I was doing triathlons, and I was like doing one every weekend, and that was "Girl on Fire" by Alicia Keys.
Ooh.
That was always my pre-race song, and I had to hear it before the gun went off for the race. But right now it's Rachel Platten's oh my God.
Is it Fight Song?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think we have that one either. So you know what? I'm gonna give you both.
One's a good one. And then Jelly Rolls, I'm Not Okay. That brings me to tears.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hell,
that one.
I'm gonna give you all three.
My friend sent me the Jelly Roll, I'm Not Okay, and she was like, I just heard this in the car, and I just started crying, and she and I just get each other, and I was like, because I thought when I read that, I thought she meant it's another jelly something artist. I'm like, how in the hell did that make you cry? And then I was like, oh, I read it, and I Googled it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Me too.
I'm gonna have to give it a listen, and I'll put it on the playlist for all of our listeners to hear as well.
Awesome.
Well, Steph, this was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for being a part of it. Your story is amazing. Just blew my mind hearing everything you've done in the last year and a half while battling cancer. So thank you for doing this. Thank you for being a big part of this. Good luck with Erin. If you need anything, if you have any questions, if Michael's a little too busy and you need some help, like, is it one last podcast question, but is it going to be weekly, bi-weekly? Do we know?
Right now we're going to start bi-weekly until we get our legs under us, I suppose. And then if we feel like we can sustain weekly, then we'll give it a go.
I love it. I'm so pumped.
We are just kind of just going with the flow and seeing how it works.
You're going to crush it. You're going to crush it.
Putting a time limit on it because we're just like, it just needs to evolve naturally.
Yeah. Well, you're going to crush it because I know the whole Run Disney community is huge and super supportive of both.
They are amazing.
Run
Disney
For.
is amazing.
Yeah, because of both Will Run For and Rise and Run, like
Rise and Run and 3, 2, 1, Go. I can't leave out Carissa and John. Also, just phenomenal people.
Yeah, you're gonna crush it. So good luck. Have fun.
Thanks.
Yeah,
looking forward to listening. Absolutely.
Thanks so much,
guys.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely,
it's our pleasure,
guys. I really hope you enjoyed Stephanie Humprey on the On the Runs podcast, part of our breast cancer awareness series. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Steph.
Have a great night, guys.
Stephanie, we have to thank you so much for being our first amazing guest for this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You are absolutely amazing, and we wish you a ton of luck, you and Erin, with the Pace Yourself, It's Just Cancer podcast, and we got to keep in touch. You guys are great.
Yeah, especially when we go do Disney races. We just talked to another person who does Disney races. So we need to do this and have a huge meetup. Let's keep, building this community and everything. It's going to be great. But guys, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about it on Thursday for the extended outro. Have a great Wednesday. Enjoy Pace Yourself, It's Just Cancer.
I can't wait to catch up with you in a couple days, Erica, but I gotta go. I got work dinners and things to do. You're tired. You need sleep, so take us home.
I can't wait to catch up with you either, but thank you guys for listening. You know we love you.
Don't fear the code brown.
And don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1.
This might be a stupid question. Why can't you run a mile, but you can walk a half a marathon? Doctor's orders. Why?
Wait, what?
Yeah, where'd you get that?
He said you
confused.
can't run.
No. Well,
Why
because the bouncing. Because I had like stitches inside, and if
Oh,
you know
okay.
too
Stitches. All right. I'm just gonna edit it out. I thought it had to do with something else.
much. No, sir, I
I'm
had
just-
organs removed.
I forgot about the
Organs.
stitches. I forgot
An
about the
entire organ system.
Well, he said 6 to 8 weeks is a long time.
I love how you did that, sir. Do you understand what just happened to me?
This is
I
our
don't know if you
blooper.
did.
Thank you for providing me with the end of the episode blooper. This is amazing.
Like, make me cry a little bit. It's funny. Shut him
I
down,
wasn't
Steph.
thinking
Shut
about.
him down.
I was like 6 to 8.
No, I know.
Anyways,
So,
you're
yeah,
gonna have a lot of fun doing a podcast, by the way. And you're gonna learn that there's a lot of editing, and it's fun. But,
Oh,
all right,
can't wait.
all right. Let's just pretend I didn't say anything.